Hey, what's up, guys? Sam here with BAG SZN Cornhole, and we are back. Another episode of our podcast. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. As always, I'm with my partner, Zach Stickney from Stickside Cornhole. Zach, how you feeling, bro?
Man, trying to recover after that long week of Worlds. I know you're probably in the same boat, but happy to get back on here and share some more insight.
What a week that was, man. So go ahead and we'll jump right in, bro. We're gonna go to the deep end of the pool. Tell everybody how your World's experience was.
Yeah, so this is my fourth year at Worlds, but completely different than years previous. Was wrapping up my internship with ACL. This was my last event with them. So it was a lot of behind the scenes work, trying to get some content created for the ACL's page, because we had qualifiers going all week long, making it to the TV broadcast, because at Worlds it's a full week of TV broadcast. So it was actually pretty cool. I literally got into Charlotte at 2 o'clock, got to the venue by 2:45, 3ish, and immediately got to work. So it was awesome working with the full ACL crew. I got to meet some of their other interns as well, work alongside them. And they were pretty green when it comes to cornhole, so it was cool to kind of share that experience and that knowledge like of the game with
Mhm.
them. Um, they thought I was kind of like a mini celebrity walking around the venue with them because every time I'd walk upstairs, they'd be like, "Hey Zach, how you doing?" Like, how do all these people know you? But and the broad side of things, the week was great, busy, and how was your
It was
experience?
great. It was really great. I was there, I want to say 8 or 9 days. I drove from outside Austin, Texas to Rock Hill, South Carolina. It's about 19 hours. Didn't do the straight shot. All right. I think I did 10 hours, and then I spent the night in Alabama, and then I did the other 9 hours, and then I just flipped it coming back home. So travel was okay. I had a lot of time, mental time, just to like think about, prepare the things I had to do. We shot at a commercial for AAR Cornhole. Shout out Brad and Amanda for giving me that opportunity. The commercial came out really great. It's going to drop at Spencer McKenzie's, so I look forward to that. And that took up pretty much the first half of the trip. We shot all day on a Sunday, and then World started immediately the following day on Monday. But I was pretty much isolated for those first 3 days, just in the back corner somewhere, just cutting stuff up, just going through footage, cutting
Yeah.
everything up. And then when my players would be up, I'd jump out and set the cameras up and interact, do what I had to do. But that was pretty much the first half of Worlds. Once we wrapped that up, I was able to kind of enjoy it a little bit more with that ticking clock because we did have a deadline. Um, and I got it turned in on time. I got it turned in under budget, which is always great. And most importantly, they were happy with it. So it was a great experience. The actual gameplay was just phenomenal. The players, man, so many great games, so much to talk about. I don't even know where to begin. But in short, it was just a fantastic weekend. Really great.
Just eventful. I got a little sneak peek on that commercial, and all I can say is it came out great. So it's gonna be awesome for everybody to get to see that here at Spencer McKenzie's. Which are you making the trip? Is it gonna happen?
Undecided still. I'm still not sure.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat.
I want to, but I think I told you this privately, but I'll say it here publicly. Last year for Spencer McKenzie's was the only time I went on to an event and I felt like, this wasn't it. This wasn't it. I didn't come back with enough usable footage. There was so many elements that were going on from a content standpoint. From a content standpoint, there were so many elements that um, I didn't quite attest for. For example, number one, this is an outdoor event, so there are some outdoor elements that we're dealing with, including overheating cameras. That's just direct sunlight beating on those cameras all day. The gameplay, to be honest, isn't as strong as it is throughout the year because this is the end of the year. Players are kind of unwinding a little bit. Yes, toward the end, it does definitely pick up. It turns into like the last quarter of an NBA All Star game when they actually start trying, right? Um,
Right.
and then also the thing is, it's a party atmosphere. A lot of people have been boozing all day. So constantly people are running into my shit, spilling beer on it. And I'm not going to get mad, but it's like, damn, this just isn't the
It's
ideal event to shoot a lot of content like I usually do. Now, if I scale it down and
Right.
we're only to film one or two, I think I could do that, but I wouldn't do it like I usually do. Have you been to Spencer's, by the way?
Yeah, I went 2 years ago, and let me say, as a player, had an absolute blast. Of course, I wasn't 21 at the time, so it was kind of just show up, play cornhole, hang out with friends. But it was my first trip out to California, and I've always wanted to go as a
Yeah.
kid. So it was a great trip, and I had a blast. Kind of, it was like the unwind party, like you said, is a party atmosphere. So it was that unwind, kind of celebrate the season,
Hmm.
and kind of get ready for the next year. There is a lot of money up for grabs at Spencer's, so like the players, like you said, it's outdoors, so the elements come into play both for I guess the content side, but also playing. Like you're not going to get that high quality play that you see at the major pro tournaments because the players are dealing with that direct sunlight, and also the wind out there is a huge factor.
Yeah.
So if you head out to Spencer's, just keep that in mind. Like you don't expect you throwing 10 PPRs.
Yeah, and like I said, towards the end of the event is when the players really start to turn it on. And actually, last year the final events were held in inside. The year before was a tent, but last year was like a separate building, and so it was a little bit more controlled environment. And I think it was Eric Davis and Jamie Graham who won, if I remember correctly. So yeah, we'll see what happens. So everybody going out to Spencer's, enjoy the trip. It's a great experience. The California weather you truly cannot beat. So with that being said, Zach, so what's going on in your world right now? I know you're transitioning. Worlds is done. What's next for you, bro?
Yeah, so next up on the list is school. That starts on the 25th. So I actually moved in August 4th, the day right after Worlds ended, but I only had two suitcases with me, and a lot of it was camera equipment. So I quickly realized, at like day 1.5 at the new apartment, I was like, I don't have enough to live here. I don't have a pillow. I don't have this. I don't have that. So I moved up my flight, came back to Florida, am getting some work done, and then here in the next couple of days, I'll be making the drive back up to South Carolina. So it's a lot of moving pieces
So
right
wait,
now.
where are you right now?
I'm in Florida.
Who lives in Florida?
Yeah. My mom moved here back in October,
Oh,
so I
okay.
was here. I spent the summer here since I did live on my own before going to
Hmm.
college. I lived right outside of Boston, and then obviously moved into a dorm when I went to school, and now I transitioned to here for the summer and headed back to the
So
school.
how's Florida, bro? Did you like living there?
Um, I would say I prefer it more as like a tourist, or not tourist, but a vacation spot for me. I don't mind. I don't mind coming here for vacation because I love the beach. Absolutely love the beach. But Florida is a little busy for what I like. It's also extremely hot here,
Oh, really?
especially living here during just the summer.
Yeah, and plus it's not home, right? I mean, the Northeast.
I mean, yeah, Northeast is home for sure. My mom has done a great job making this like a new home per se. But the Northeast is that's home in my heart. But honestly, home right now feels like Rock Hill.
Really? Oh, that's
So
cool, bro.
hoping to yeah, I'm hoping to make the full time transition to Rock Hill here pretty soon.
Man, I'll say. Well, let me say a couple things. First off, the Northeast. It's just beautiful up there. I've only gone a couple of times, but there's just something about being. It's your roots, bro. It's like where we planted, or our roots were originally planted. Of course, when you get older, you're gonna move and have new starts, new foundations. But for me, Texas is always home. I lived in Seattle, Washington. I've lived in other cities and states, but I've always had a genuine love for Texas because those where my roots are. And Texas is a very proudful state. We are super proud of. There's very few states. As a matter of fact, when I lived in Washington State, I didn't know what the state flag was for almost a year. Texas, you can't go very few miles before you see a Texas flag. It's everywhere. You know, it's
Right.
just pride of their state.
Yep.
So it's really interesting. And Rock Hill, South Carolina, was towards the end. I was like, I could totally see myself enjoying time here, more time here. It was
Yeah.
hot as hell for the first part, and it started to cool down a little bit, but it's just it's beautiful, man. That whole region there in the South Carolina, and man, it's just really nice, really nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I absolutely love it, and I've kind of missed it this summer. I spent a few months or probably close to 8 months there while in school. I've been there for the past couple of years for tournaments, worlds, whatever. And I love the area. It reminds me of a mix between when I grew up in New Hampshire
Hmm.
with not a lot around and when I lived in Boston. It's kind of like that perfect middle ground where it's not too busy but not too rural. I have things to go do, but also like that whole Winthrop Cornhole team. That's my family. So just and we also added to it, so we have 12 more kids this year. But that's my family. Coach Dusty and his wife Shannon made that family environment, and it truly is a family, and that's just where I see myself.
That's cool, man. That's special. Enjoy it, bro.
It is.
Enjoy this time right now. It's a chapter in your life that you'll always look back fondly at, I would imagine. And you brought up Dusty, Coach Dusty. I had an opportunity to speak with him a little bit this year at Worlds. I met him in an instant last year. He was super busy. So I don't even know if he remembers meeting me. But this year I had a chance to talk to him a little bit. And just a great guy, a great man. Really, he is. So you guys are super lucky, super blessed to have somebody like him in a leadership role for Winthrop.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, he's done gone above and beyond for us. He's always inviting us over to the house for family dinners. He's got friends in the area, all the local connections, so we're always playing like disc golf or going out
Mhm.
to his the lake to have a lake day. Just fun things that really gave Rock Hill that home feeling because he was giving us like the local perspective to the area.
Yeah, I love that. I
So
love that. So we
yeah.
could talk about Worlds for hours.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, we don't have that time. So if I were to ask you, Zach, Sticks, give me talk about one subject. I'll let you pick randomly. Again, this is unscripted. We didn't talk about this, but I'm gonna give you the floor, bro. I want you to give a shout out to either some players or something that happened at Worlds that you want to put a little bit of light on.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick kind of with that world's theme just because that's obviously the last big event that happened and the wrap up of this season. But it was really cool the last day of Worlds that SportsCenter was there and the players that they brought on to the cast. I know your guy Cash was up there, Tony and Mark, Jamie, and every single player that went on that stage just killed it. It's also really cool because, as you know, SportsCenter is one of the main like sports pages out there. So getting that coverage at the World Championship was actually I think it's huge for the sport going forward. Just to have that outside light coming in, showcasing what cornhole is about and that player experience because they weren't down on the ESPN. You had the ESPN and CBS broadcast down on the main stage, but they were stationed upstairs where all the action's happening. And I was talking to a few players this week. That's what needs to be shown at these events, and that's what you do a great job doing. That's what I'm hoping to do more of next year, just showing the vibe, the energy, and just the skill that's happening on those main let's say qualifying courts, I guess,
Mhm.
because I guess every player's main mission is to make the TV broadcast and win the big tournament. But everybody starts in that same room. You play that whole gauntlet and make yourself to that broadcast. So shout out to everybody that was on the Sports Center broadcast. But also, when I'm doing a little bit of scrolling, when I was at the airport the other day, ESPN is taking a lot of notice on cornhole and making those posts happen. They took some clippets from the Sports Center broadcast, put that on their socials. I also saw they did some just rounds from the main broadcast this week and also put those to their socials. And I don't want to spoil his news. My guy Colin Hodette, he hit me up today. Said, "Look at this. This is pretty cool." ESPN actually DM'd him on TikTok and said, "Hey, do you own this clip? If so, can we use it with all posting rights tagging you?" So ESPN's taking notice for these high level players. They're hitting them up and using their content on their socials.
That's awesome, bro. I love to hear
Yeah,
that. I love to hear that. So there's a lot of talking points. I want to. I got to pick one here. So I'll start
yeah,
off with.
dissect.
I'll start off with the last one. Colin Hodette. That's your boy, right? I mean,
That's my guy.
you guys have history. Are y'all from the same area? Talk about the history with Colin.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna say day one guy because I've been playing a little bit longer than he has, but first day I met him, I've been fond of him ever since, and we've been great friends ever since that day. We were playing at a tournament in New Hampshire, and we actually had to play against each other. And I don't wanna embarrassed him a little bit, but I think he was a little bit of a fan of mine because I was a pro at the time, and he was just trying to be an up and coming player. But like that first time I played him, he had all the shots, but not the consistency and the mindset to like or the mental game to like compete at the highest level.
Yeah.
But we kind of just picked them up as like as their own. We invited them to all our Airbnbs when we traveled to play tournaments, stuff like that. So he's from Vermont and I'm from New Hampshire, a couple hour difference. But every weekend, I don't care if I was in Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Maine, I would see Colin at the tournament. I'm like, okay, this kid's dedicated to playing this game. He wants to pick it up. So I mean, everything just unfolded. We started going to tournaments together. We played a few. We played at an Open in Canada together,
Oh, I didn't know that.
and yeah, that was a fun experience. I do feel bad because I maybe didn't play the best that weekend in Canada, but then the next day in singles, I beat him like 21-2. So,
Sheesh.
um, but I'm gonna hold on to my wins against Colin. My win record, I might be positive right now, but I know if I keep playing him, it's gonna drop real quick because there's no way I touch him now.
He's on another
So I just
level.
want to,
Yeah. Go
dude,
ahead.
he is shooting fire, and it doesn't matter what you do against him. He's playing his game now, and it's gonna get scary next year because Colin Hodet's on a tear. And I also want to kind of pull back the curtain, reveal that we're gonna be partnering up next year. He's gonna be like my first like pro player. So there's nobody else I'd rather partner with than Colin Hodet. He's just a great thrower, but an even better person, great family.
Yeah.
And I'm super proud of that kid for where he's come, and I know where he wants to get, and I don't think anybody's going to stop him. So shout
The
out Colin Hodet, the Roll King.
the Roll King. Those
The Roll King.
stories are, man, they feel so I love hearing shit like that when you hear about people that have history. I'm a history. I love culture. I love when there's a deeper story to everything.
Mm-hmm.
And so anytime I hear about stuff like this with Colin, he reminds me of a guy of a type of guy, and I can't quite pinpoint it, but there are people that I've met in life that are just they're just genuine. End of story. What you see is what you get. They're not trying
Mm-hmm.
to put on a facade. They're not trying to emulate something. They are just who they are. And the day I met, I can't really remember. I can't pinpoint it, but I do remember meeting him about a year ago, just on the road in passing. And I was like, man, that guy is just like, it's a good dude. And then you see him again, and I'm like, man, those are the type of people that you want in your life because they're just good, genuine people. They have no ulterior motive, they have no agenda. They're living their life, and they're just good souls, you know? And that's awesome to hear that you guys have that kind of bond. Definitely hold on to that because you don't meet a ton of people like that. I haven't, anyways, met a ton of genuine people like that. So that's really cool to hear, Zach. It really is.
Dude, I love that kid to death, and like you just said, what you see is what you get. There's no show that Colin's putting on. He is himself, and himself is a great person. So there's never a bad time to be around Colin, and I want to support him in any way possible because I'm just proud of that kid.
Shout out Colin Hodet. Hodet?
Hodet, yep, and
Shout out.
also happy belated birthday. Yesterday was his 21st.
And I did like seeing on socials, everybody posted like just some private videos that they've gathered of Colin throughout the years or a year. And those are those, you just see it, man. You see it on those
Yeah.
videos, him just a really good positive energy, great people. So, and that's awesome to hear that that's going to be your first sponsored player. I look forward to seeing more content. He's already doing some great stuff independently. We had a little conversation about content at Worlds, and his mind is locked in on the game, but it's also locked in on social media. So to hear you guys are going to be collabing next year, you're going to be sponsoring him to whatever degree that means. That's y'all's business, but I'm excited to hear about it, and I'm looking forward to the stuff. Now, onto the SportsCenter stuff. That was really cool to see. The players really opened up. That was a chance. Well, SportsCenter is the mecca. All right,
Mm-hmm.
SportsCenter is the platform. It's the top, right? And so to see them come out, and I know it was some sort of Southern South Carolina theme. I'm not exactly sure. I didn't get to see the whole thing, but the fact that they were there, the fact that it was originally planned to be on ESPN two, and they moved it to the main stage, the flagship program. That's awesome. And I thought all the players did a great job in front of those lights because it is a bit of pressure. It's a different kind of pressure. I would imagine it's a different kind of pressure than what's on the main stage because this is SportsCenter. Again, the Mecca. And from what I saw, the players did a great job interacting with the camera, interacting with the hosts. And I'm going to give a special shout out to Cash Chamness because he hit a home run. They gave him kind of its own little segment because they actually threw bags. Did you happen to see that segment?
Yeah, I did. I didn't get to watch it live because I had it downstairs, but I got to see him tossing some bags up there.
Yeah, they were actually tossing bags, and I think he had one go off the board at the very end, but he just turned it on, and you just can't teach that kind of stuff. There's something about this young kid that he's just got it. It's so crazy to see. And I'm not just saying this because, I work with him closely. If I wasn't in the position that I'm in, I would still be like, dude, this is special right here. This is something that's going to cross over. This is something that's going to catch the eye of people who aren't in this sport, who aren't in cornhole, like we are. They're going to be scrolling. What the fuck? What was that? And they're going to go back and be like, yo, that's wild,
Yeah.
And so that's the kind of players that I'm excited to see what's coming up for next year. I'm hoping all of us, right, players, creatives, take a step forward. Let's raise the game together, y'all. Let's all bring up our game on social media, on content, and on the boards. And guys, we're here. People are taking notice. It's time for us to all elevate one notch. Just go up
Yep.
one notch, man. We don't have to go, be wild. It'd be crazy if we did, but so that's what's exciting for me. I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, 1000%. Because if anybody has the possibility to, like, say, post a board clip or any other sort of fun cornhole content, they could also get a DM in their inbox from ESPN, and that's just going to get you some more visibility, which is awesome. That's your way of growing the sport. And then, as an outsider perspective, because obviously you've worked closely with Cash all season, that kid's unreal. You're gonna see all these kids that have the talent and the skill, like they can hit the roll bags, the air mills. Like they're a little older now, but like Jake Gore when they first started, Ian Cripps, now Ethan Farias. All these young kids have insane talent, but for Cash to be 9 years old and to be hitting these shots and the consistency that he's doing it at, he just has that different mental trigger in his mind and his brain that just allows him to do that, and that's impressive for any player that's been playing for a few years, let alone a kid that's 9 years old competing with the best players in the world. It's just absolutely, it's inspiring for a lot of kids out there, and it's fascinating to see as like a fan of the sport.
You hit it. It's inspirational. And other kids are going to see it, and they're going to start to gravitate towards it. They're going to want to emulate that and say, "Hey, can I do this?" Of course you can. Of course you can. Just give it a shot and let's see what happens, just like he did. So really great stuff. I think the game in general is in an amazing spot as a whole. Is it perfect? No. I mean, nothing is. Let's be honest. There's some things that we all need to work on. I'm talking about myself included independently. Man, there's a lot of things I need to get better at for next year. But as a whole, man, I think we're in a great spot. I think the game of cornhole is just, it's ready. It's ready to cross over. The players are there. The personalities are there. The content is getting there in terms of us, not the broadcast. The broadcast is there, but I'm talking about independent content creators, players, influencers. We all gotta catch up, and so I think we're headed the right direction. I know we're headed the right direction.
Oh, 100%. Like we're still so early, so everybody just keep grinding, and we're gonna blow this game out of the water.
100%. So you gave a shout out. If you don't mind, I'd like to talk a little bit about my experience and what I saw. And I could talk about a lot of I could talk a lot about Cash because there's a lot to talk about. But I'm going to take this opportunity to talk about Caitlin Allshouse. Okay. So I think it was her weekend. I thought she came in, and as from the females division, the females players, you could not have a better weekend. Okay, but a lot of people don't know her backstory. I'm blessed to know a little bit more about her than the average person. As a matter of fact, the first time I ever met Caitlin was in 2022 at Kids Throw 2. You ever heard of KTT, Kids Throw 2?
Yeah, I've heard of them in the past. It's been a while since I've seen something about that, but I'm familiar with it.
It was a juniors only event back in 2022. All right. You had to be, I think, under 18, or I don't know what the age limit was. But there was the first ever juniors only event. And at that time, I was there filming some content for the Caballeros, Trevor and Easton. I was still working hand in hand with those young kids, helping with their social medias. And the first Kids Throw 2 event happened, and just crossing paths, I saw Caitlin. Obviously, didn't know who she was. It was in my hometown, so I was in the right place at the right time. But I met Caitlin, and I'm just gathering B-roll interviews of players. She had either like pink or purple hair. I don't even remember, but she just looked different. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna go interview her and see what she thinks about the game of cornhole. Because me and Bella were walking around. I put a mic on her, and we were just interviewing players. And Bella needed a break, so I said, I'm just gonna get a couple more interviews. I saw Caitlin, and I'm gonna go look for the clip. I don't know if I still have it, but I interviewed her, and nothing stood out. She didn't jump out at me, but here it just goes to show. I remember her saying, I'm just starting. The game is fun. I like to do it. That's it,
Yep.
right? Cut to 3 years. What is it? Not even, barely 3 years later. She is at the top of the women's game, in my opinion. Last year, she missed being a pro. She went through the gauntlet. She missed it by one game. She missed her pro card by one game. And, of course, she was disappointed, but she didn't give up. She went to the ACL Elite route. She didn't make the top 32 for the women's division, so she was able to compete, right, in the women's. But she went to the ACL Elite route, and she went to every single event this year. She ended up winning a Stevie Award for a Traveler of the Year, a Road Warrior, whatever they call it.
Yep.
She won 3 events throughout this year. Coming into Worlds, man, she just looked super locked in.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, whoa, yeah, she got, she had her hair done and she did it, but no, I knew her mental was right. I could just tell, having a slight conversation with her when I saw her on Monday. I was like, okay, she's locked in. And sure as hell, man, she delivered. She won the women's. She won the doubles women's. Her ACL Pro team won. She had
won everything.
herself a weekend. Yeah, so I want to give a big shout out to Caitlin Allshouse. I do know that she's from college. She lives in College Station now. She's from San Antonio,
Okay.
which is close to me. But now she lives in College Station, which is a little bit northeast. And I know she works a lot with Deborah Oden. She works a lot with Austin Waskow. Is that how you say his last name?
That's my best guess.
Waskow, I believe. I could be wrong. I apologize, Austin, if I butchered that. But she works with a lot of players. Logan Chamberlain, JBJ. They're all from this. There's some dogs in this area, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
She's part of them now. I'm here to say she's arrived. She's done it. And name a player who's gone from this to this year, and I'll wait because there's not many that's had a run like Caitlin has had. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, she absolutely crushed the weekend because she won everything she could. Like women's singles world champion, women's doubles world champion, and a pro teams world championship or pro teams champion, whatever you want to say. That's a lot of winning in one weekend. And if she's only been playing since 2022, and that's when she first started, coming that far in 3 years is just unreal. Because like in years past, it's just been Cheyenne dominating the women's scene. So it's cool to see somebody else step in and say, hey, I can win too.
Anyone can do it if you just put in the time and you get your mental right. So big shout out to her. Now, listen, it wasn't perfect. There's, some things that happened. I don't know if you've heard a little bit about it. I don't want to go too deep, but there were some issues with some of the payouts. And listen, I don't know anything about that. I don't know. I'm sure you don't either, Zach. But I got to tell you, man, she handled it like a pro. I know she was disappointed. She was expecting one number and ended up getting something less than that. And of course, I'd be a bit, disappointed also. But I talked to her and she was like, you know what? It is what it is. I can't do anything about it. God's got me.
Yeah.
God's got me. It's all going to work out. whatever's going to happen, I just know God's got me. So big shout out to Caitlin Allhouse. Big shout out to all the players that came out to Worlds, had themselves a weekend. Shout out Cash Chamness and Braden Wilson for winning juniors doubles. So for junior singles, I don't even know this young man's name. It's Chase White.
Chase White, yeah, he's
What do you know
unreal.
about him?
I didn't know nothing coming to Worlds. I saw him literally throw against, I think it was Tony Forbes. I'm like, damn, that kid's got a flat bag. He gets a lot of rotation. Like, he looks legit. And then sure as shit, a couple hours later, he was on the main broadcast winning the tournament. From
Yeah.
what I heard, he's from Michigan, and
Okay.
I think he won the Michigan State event. I'm not sure, but man, that kid can throw.
Bro came out, had himself a weekend. Shout out Chase. I wish I would have taken the time to, I'll be honest. I didn't know you, bro. I do know now. I
Yeah,
do now.
you,
I do know now. So
your name is on the
yeah.
radar for
So
sure now.
shout out Jamie Graham for winning singles. Man, he beat Logan Chamberlain. That was an epic battle. And in doubles, Tony Smith and Mark Richards took care of business. What are your thoughts on that game? I know you got a couple of them.
Yeah, they killed the season. Mark and Tony, like that's where you got to start. Like we never seen a team that dominant before, and it's their second year together. So see what next year brings. Hopefully, people are motivated to take them down because that's what it's gonna take. Otherwise, they're gonna be going on like a generational run here. It's gonna be the Warriors from a few years ago, just winning year after year. So hopefully, people are ready to make the switch and take cornhole even more seriously than they have been because that's kind of the opportunity Tony and Mark got is to
Mhm.
like Mark I think left his full-time job teaching to play cornhole and it's paid off and it's going to keep paying off as long as he stays hungry, which knowing Mark and what I know about Mark is he's not going anywhere.
Mark Richards left his full time job to focus on cornhole. On the other hand, Tony Smith, I don't think he's ever had a job in his
Right.
life, but yet, man, he is so dialed in. He hit the shot to send him into the finals. Did you happen? Were you there for that match
That was
when they beat Gavin and JBJ?
was that on the broadcast? Then yes.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, he Tony hit a clutch airmail to end that game, and by that point, the momentum was going. I was like, okay,
Right.
yeah. I don't actually was it. I don't know. I might have gotten that wrong. Who they played, but yeah, he was after that point because they were down that first semifinals game, and it took a TV timeout for them to reset, and then after that they just started dialing in, and it was super impressive to watch. So
Right.
so that's how Worlds went. Man, I had a great time. I know Zach, you had a great time too. As we transition to a little bit of an off time, what are your plans during this little break? What's coming up for you? What's on your agenda?
Yeah, like the last couple of days, I've been kind of like revising my strategy going into next year. Some changes I want to make, but I'm also preparing myself to reach out for maybe some partnership opportunities going to next year, whether it's with a bag company or apparel. A lot of stuff in the works. I also am talking with some people about client work for next year, so just trying to load up my plate with some of that. And I think next year is gonna be, uh, it's gonna be great, really. Like this year, I feel like I kind of transitioned from being that player to the content space, and next year I
Hmm.
want to hit the highway and go with the content. So I think some big things are gonna happen this coming year.
I do too. Are you planning on going to all the events? Some of them? What are your
I'd
thoughts?
like to go to as many as possible, so we'll see. We'll see
Okay.
what the future aligns and what's feasible and what's possible.
Yeah, 100%. I think first off, if you guys are looking for content work, definitely reach out to Zach, Stickside Cornhole, doing some amazing work. I'm super proud of you, bro. The content has been absolutely amazing, and any players or bad companies that get the opportunity to work with you will consider themselves lucky because you're on another level right now, bro. And I know next year you're gonna bring it up even higher. So that's exciting.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. As for me, I'm kind of doing the same thing, just a little bit. My goal, or I have to find the right fit. Right now, for me, it's just about finding the right
Mhm.
fit. There's a couple of options on the table, a couple of different, just some options. I'm really going to take my time to figure out what's the best move for me because at the end of the day, it has to be the right fit. I'm okay taking on less work to work closer with some specific players or bag companies, right? But I definitely want to aim for more of a cinematic, for more of a storytelling aspect in the game. I think there's a lot of people. A lot of people are doing what we do, all right, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But I always try to switch shit up. I always try to do something different. When people are zigging, I like to
Mm-hmm.
zag. So next season, I definitely want to focus more on a cinematic storytelling aspect, whether that storytelling is just a visual thing or even give these players an opportunity to say something. That's something that I really want to challenge the players that I work with. Hey, what do you want to say? Right? Give them an opportunity to tap into their artistic um, that part of their brain because I have a bro. I think we all have it. I promise you. Everybody has an artistic side to them. Some people have just never exercised that muscle before, and I'm here to help. Hey, let's tell your story. Let's focus on your brand. What do you want to say as a creative? What do you want to say as a as a player? Something in life, and I think that'll be really cool to tell. I'm not talking about a film. I'm talking about short form content to medium, length content, but just more storytelling um, content. If that does that make
But
sense?
no,
I'm kind of rambling. Go ahead.
no, 100%. And I think that's going to be an awesome pivot and something that's different for the game because like we are lacking that, like you said, short form to medium form storytelling aspect. Because like a lot of people are doing the board clips, which is fine because you got to showcase your skill.
Mm-hmm.
But that's another avenue where it's going to help your players stand out from the crowd. And I love the idea. Next year, I got the opportunity this last season to do a few lifestyle pieces like tournament vlogs and stuff like that. I don't know if you got to catch any of those on YouTube, but man, if I get the opportunity to go to all these events next year, you can bet that those are going to be coming out every single open.
That sounds fun. Yeah, I
Yeah,
would like to see that.
yeah, it's easy to do. I wouldn't say easy to do. It's not easy work, but it's a blast to do. It makes it easy working with like the Winthrop guys and traveling with them because like we have that family aspect and we're so comfortable with each other
Yeah,
where we just get to show that on camera. Like we literally had Jackson and Josh wrestling it out on the airport floor last year. We had
I
us
did see
running
that.
through the airport, like just stuff like that you don't get to see behind the scenes. That's what I want to show through those lifestyle tournament travel vlogs.
And you know what? I'm not paid for this, but I will, since you bring it up, I happen to have this POV camera. It's a
Mm-hmm.
chest mounted camera. You wear a little necklace that has a magnet on it, which I'm not wearing. But if I did this right, it would clip on. Um, I shot a bunch of this footage shooting the AAR commercial, and I want to cut something up with that footage, mix it in with my voiceovers and just different stuff. That kind of shit is just different. And I want to
Just try
challenge
it.
those players. Just try shit. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
Just try it. Don't be afraid of failure. Art and fear go hand in hand. And sometimes failure will lead to something you never even thought of. It'll open up your creativity, right? You see how passionate I get when I start
Yeah,
talking about this.
yeah.
Failure opens up opportunities, and sometimes it leads to sometimes when I have an idea and this is my vision, and I go to do it, and it fails, or so I thought, because that led to something completely,
Mm-hmm.
all sorts of interesting opportunities that weren't there before the failure, if that makes sense.
100%.
So I just want to encourage those players. Don't be afraid of, well, I'm not great in front of a camera or I don't have anything to say. That's bullshit because everybody has a story. Everybody is passionate about something. You just have to really tap into yourself, into your mental, take a deep breath and just be like, okay, what do I want to say? Just do one thing.
Mm-hmm.
Just do one thing and then just do that one thing great.
Right.
So I'm excited.
Yeah, you try it, you fail, but the cool thing is, if you fail, which I don't think there is such thing as like a fail, you're standing out, and that's what this game needs. So,
Yep. Yeah.
absolutely, 100%, man.
So cool. So that's it. Anything else? Give us some shout outs, Zach.
Man, I already gave a shout out to Colin. Obviously, excited to work with him this coming season. We're still kind of ironing out what that's going to look like, but it's going to be more so like a mutual partnership just because we had that built in friendship. But then I'm also going to give a shout out to all the new guys on the guys and girls on the Winthrop Cornhole team. I'm looking forward to this year. It's going to be awesome to. I've already met most people, but just building that family connection with those guys and girls. It's gonna be season two. Let's put it that way.
Love that.
What about you?
Love
You got
that.
any shout outs yourself?
I do, man. I just want to give a shout out to the Chamness and to the Wilson family. They were the main clients that I worked with event to event to event. From day one for this season, they had a vision in mind, and I feel like we executed it. We had a lot of. They weren't all dubs, bro. They weren't all dubs. There were some tough moments along the road, but I want to give a special shout out to Rich Chamness, Randy Chamness, the Chamness family for allowing me that access to capture that moment with cash throughout the year, and also to the Wilson family, both Stephen and Nicole. Man, I'm just super blessed for the opportunity that you guys gave me to capture these moments in these young kids' lives. Because halfway through the year, and it's odd that it took that long, but I realized I'm not just doing this to capture content. Yeah, that is what they hired me to do. But at the end of the day, I'm capturing these life moments that they're going to carry with them for forever. And so I started thinking differently. Like, man, it's important to capture the onboard stuff, but it's even almost more important to capture the stuff off the boards. When they're hanging with their friends or they're going to the snack or whatever it is.
Right.
I started to think differently. And I was like, man, this is because I have stuff of myself when I'm a kid, because I was always that stupid ass, you know what I mean? With the kid, the
Yeah.
camera. And those moments are priceless. They honestly are. I wish I would have done more as a kid of my family and people who aren't here anymore and stuff like that. So I do want to give that shout out to both of you, both families. And just again, thank you for giving me that opportunity. So it was special, and I'll always remember this forever. This chapter I'll always remember.
Oh
So
yeah, 100%.
so that's it, Zach. Great way to finish off this year. The season is done. As for us, for the podcast, don't know what's going to happen next. Are we going to record another one? I sure hope so,
I think so.
but you never know. Life happens, and if you have time for me, bro, I'll always have time for you. And I hope we can do many, many more podcasts down the road. So signing off for the year, guys. Thank you so much. I'm Sam Martinez. This is Zach Stickney with Stickside Cornhole. And as always, get out there, create content, and remember, competition is the new collaboration is the new competition. I screwed that one up. Take care, guys.